In studio, Joe Musso, pleased to be alongside my guys, Jonathan Jones, Bryant McFadden, Patrick Peterson. Guys, that's a new one. It's not a flag we see very often, let alone at the end of a game in a game-winning scenario, but this is a rule applied correctly, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, it was a very easy one to call, and the refs didn't. They talked about it because of where they were in the game, but it's a very easy one to call. Darren Rizzi, the special teams coordinator of the Denver Broncos, is a very proud, very good, very great special teams coordinator. So he doesn't coach that. They don't teach that for Denver. And so that is a really bad mistake by the Denver Broncos. Not because it's a 5-yard penalty, because we're not entirely sure Spencer Shrader would have made that kick if he had been given 5 yards, but give him 15, make it a 45-yard field goal. And almost every kicker in today's NFL is going to make that kick. Huge, huge mistake for the Denver Broncos.
Mac, this is, again, we talk about it, you say it often, finding ways to lose, getting that out of your system. This isn't a team plagued by that, nor a coach whose teams usually are, but this is the sort of flaw that can linger for some time. How do you process what you saw at the end of the game if you are the Broncos and you offered that second chance?
Just mental lapse, not paying attention to detail. The sense of urgency clearly wasn't there. And for the second straight week in a row, the Broncos have underachieved. They were able to win the ball game last week because they played against the Tennessee Titans, but they didn't play good football. Those same woes and concerns surfaced against a much better, much improved team on the road, which led to this big-time loss because they controlled the game, but they kept playing around with their food. You cannot do that in the National Football League because these teams are good enough to find a way to win, and that's what happened today. And Daniel Jones is 2-0. In 2 weeks of play, Daniel Jones have been outstanding. He's been outstanding, and it's looking like he's found his groove that had led to an undefeated season in 2 weeks of play for the Colts.
Lots to get to coming out of this game. Our eyes obviously go to that end scene, but Jonathan Taylor, stout throughout, 165 on 25 totes, 6.6 for those looking for some easy math as he stacks it up in a, wow, can you believe that winning effort? Get you back out to one of our teammates with the NFL on CBS. Trent Green on the tail end of a wild finish there. Obviously a fantastic 60 minutes of football, but let's focus on that final few seconds. Take me through your point of view. When did you see the flag, and what do you make of those final moments on both sides of this matchup?
It's pretty remarkable when you look at this game. It was 21-20 at halftime. It was a back and forth. It was really the matter of the Colts having to settle for field goals instead of touchdowns early on. But when they got the ball back, and all of a sudden you're just like, okay, they're going to get some momentum. They've got the timeouts in their pocket. They've got the 2-minute warning. Then they started off by running the ball and moving it down. And you could see the Broncos were concerned with it because they started using their timeouts. They started stacking more guys in the box, and yet they were able to get themselves in position. The final field goal, we didn't see the flag until a few seconds after the kick had missed because the flag was right in the middle where they called the penalty on the Broncos. And so as soon as you get a 15-yard penalty and you give a kicker that much of an opportunity and that much of a gain in terms of yardage, it quickly swayed this entire stadium as to how they thought things were ending and how they ultimately ended up ending. And what a difference in change of emotions from the two sidelines, right? When the kick ends up missed from 60, you see one side celebrate and the other disappointed. Then everybody realizes the flag, and quick change of emotions for everybody in this building.
I thought we'd be sitting here talking about conservative play calling leading up to that 60-yard try. Instead, it's what is ultimately a chip shot in today's NFL from 45 and a kicker still perfect. But I always want to go on quarterbacks with you. And for Daniel Jones, we've seen flickers of this throughout his career as a New York Football Giant, but 8 quarters of high-level stuff now. What's jumped off the tape at you?
Well, I think the thing that you just nailed it, right? You see flickers of it throughout his career early on, and it's the consistency in back-to-back weeks. Now, were there some missed throws? Did he have some missed opportunities? Yes, of course. That's every game for every quarterback. But I just think from a consistency standpoint, he's been great for 8 quarters. He's protected the football, which is something he didn't do when he was starting in New York. He's protecting the football from a fumble standpoint in the pocket, protecting the football from an interception standpoint. He's provided good balance for this team. We talked about Jonathan Taylor, you guys did before I came on air, the number of yards he had running the football and how the consistency of that run game and really putting the onus on that offensive line to have that consistency. So Daniel Jones has impressed me. There were multiple times today where Vance Joseph tried to dial up pressure and he just planted his foot in the ground, stepped into that pressure and made an accurate throw. And that's just part of the maturation of playing the quarterback position. Now in year number 7, he's got the experiences of being in New York. He learned a lot from what he told us, being in Minnesota for a short time with Kevin O'Connell and with Sam Darnold, just watching them in terms of their preparation and what they do. And he carried over some of that. And he's meshed really well with Shane Steichen and what they're trying to do here offensively.
On the other side of this one, in the absence of the aforementioned consistency, the ability to assess and correct. Coming off a career-high 3 turnovers in Week 1, Bo Nix, for large swaths of this game, looked really solid, like he did course correct in ways necessary. A late turnover, costly in this one, but total sum of the parts, what do you make of his performance here in Week 2?
I was really impressed with Bo Nix as a rookie. I thought he would carry that over into this second season. Teams are always getting an entire offseason to make adjustments, similar to what happened down in Houston a year ago with C.J. Stroud going from year number 1 to year number 2. So I thought teams would make adjustment. He did not play. Bo Nix did not play very well last week. He had the multiple interceptions, had the fumble, but I thought he responded great today. He was highly efficient, accurate with the football. The one interception he had was because Grover Stewart came through, was close to hitting his arm, so he adjusted his throwing motion, which caused that the ball to float over the receiver, which allowed Cam Bynum to come up and get the interception and ultimately led to another 3 points for the Colts. So other than that one mistake, which really wasn't a mistake, it was someone making a great play and Grover Stewart coming after his arm on that throwing motion, I thought Bo Nix responded very well today.
He is one of our quarterbacks on theirs, Trent Green. Go get yourself a deep breath. That was a wild finish, pal. Great to see you as always.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, so I was told that it's no longer Danny Dimes. I'm told it's just Dimes now. Like, drop the, it's cleaner. Jonathan Jones co-signing that. Well, Dimes was back at it again with the good stuff here in Week 2. Back-to-back games with a passing and rushing touchdown, getting the legs involved. Daniel Jones, 2-0.
When you need your sports news all the time,
we've got breaking news to bring to you.
CBS Sports HQ gives you a snapshot of all the sports that matter to you.
Big news coming out of the NFL. A lot of movement in the rankings this week.
With highlights.
What a finish at the final round of play.
And in-depth analysis.
Can they three-peat? Tony Romo joins the conversation.
What can you say about this game?
When you need your sports in a snap,
we're bringing you that breaking news right here on HQ.
Find it on CBS Sports HQ. Streaming free anywhere you are.